Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us from all over the world. On behalf of the Journalists and Writers Foundation, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to this important panel discussion entitled Interfaith Voices for Peace and Justice. We are honored to organize this event as a part of the UN World Interfaith Harmony Week of 2025. My name is Mehmet Kılıç. I am the president of the Journalists and Writers Foundation, which is an international civil society organization dedicated to the culture of peace, human rights, and sustainable development. As a nonprofit organization based in New York, we are proudly associated with the UN Department of Global Communications in our shared mission. I would like to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to our youth representatives and our alumni of Global Youth Leadership Program 2024. We truly appreciate your dedication and support in organizing this event. Additionally, I must extend my sincere thanks to our distinguished moderator, Ashley Kitisya, and our speakers, Ayuba Bazam, Spozhmey Munir, Yusuf Ali Bulafu, and Serra, Kazan. We are eager to hear your insights on the vital role of youth interfaith voices in promoting and building peace and justice in our society. As we celebrate the World Interfaith Harmony Week, our goal is clear. We want to unite, we want to collaborate, and we want to foster solidarity as we tackle our common challenges in society. It is critical that we join our efforts in building peace and justice through interfaith dialogue and understanding. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our moderator for today's discussion. Ashley Kitisya is a legal expert and programs manager for Africa at the Laudato Si movement. She is a strategist with a strong background in legal justice and stakeholder engagement. She excels at building partnerships and running impactful campaigns to raise climate awareness. Her work includes energy and climate campaigns and developing outreach strategies to engage the faith community. Ashley has a proven track record in amplifying climate action with a particular focus on empowering women and youth leaders across sub-Saharan Africa. Ashley holds a postgraduate training in law and is an LLM in international finance law candidate at Strathmore University with additional training in environmental law and a stakeholder engagement. And she is amazing. You will see it. Ashley, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mehmet. Greetings from Nairobi, Kenya. It is a pleasure to be here with you all today. Happy Interfaith Harmony Week. I am sure there has been a lot of celebrations online, offline, and just bringing closer the interfaith fraternity and finding ways to have unity within our diversity. Now, this call today will be very instrumental in shaping our views on what interfaith youth voices have been important and critical towards interfaith dialogue, towards promoting peace and justice, stronger institutions, and raising awareness. But before we dive in, we wanted to ask a poll. We have a question for you to respond to in the chat, and that is, which area of SDG 16 are you most passionate about? Are you most passionate about peace? Are you most passionate about justice? Or is it strong institutions? Please respond in the chat or use the Q&A feature so that we can be able to just interact and get to know who is in the room, who is with us, and if we are together to this point. Immediately, peace is leading in inputs. We have 3 supports for peace. Others are saying hunger, strong institutions, peace. Thank you so much. Please keep responding in the chat. And for also your convenience, if you have any questions, please remember to use the Q&A feature. Take note of it. We'll be able to come back to that and address it during the Q&A time. So we're very excited to go on this journey together with you. We will be together for about 2 hours, and we'll be able to end this session by having a clearer input from our great speakers on what Interfaith Voices are talking in terms of this global network of the JWF, and including also different faiths that are represented in this call. Now, I am honored to introduce our panelists for today. The first is Ayuba Bazam. Ayuba is, all right. Ayuba is a dynamic programs manager with extensive experience in coordinating impactful programs at UFUK Dialogue. He has a background in sociology and anthropology from the University of Maiduguri and a master's in international affairs and diplomacy in progress at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Ayuba is passionate about fostering dialogue and sustainability, youth empowerment, and he has spearheaded over 15 initiatives centered towards interfaith dialogue, youth empowerment, and peace building. Ayuba's expertise spans across project management, interfaith dialogue, and advancing sustainable development goals through innovative and inclusive programs. We welcome you, Ayuba. Our next panelist is Spozhmey Munir. Spozhmey is a senior at Cal State East Bay, majoring in biological science with aspirations of becoming a surgeon. Originally from Afghanistan, she moved to the United States in pursuit of a brighter future and is deeply passionate about education, mentorship, and community service. She is dedicated to making a difference and is committed to bridging educational gaps and promoting and empowering underrepresented communities. With a strong drive for learning and leadership, she aims to contribute to the medical field and inspire future generations. We have 2 more speakers, Bulafu Yusuf Ali. Bulafu is a public speaker, writer, and advocate for meaningful dialogue with a background in chemical engineering and Islamic Sharia and legal theory. His work focuses on bridging diverse perspectives, promoting understanding, reflection through engaging conversations and thought-provoking discussions. He is currently working with the Soma Foundation in Uganda in the Dialogue Department as the program's coordinator. Lastly, Serra Kazan is an undergraduate of public health at the Texas A&M University. She believes that learning from one another and building connections are essential for promoting peace and justice in our world. Interfaith discussions to her provide a meaningful space for dialogue to come together and advocate for lasting and positive change. So I trust that we have a very extensive panelist that reflects different perspectives across the whole world. And now we will begin with the first round of discussions. I'd like to ask Ayuba. Ayuba, after you've led 15 initiatives on interfaith dialogue and peace building, can you share some of the challenges you've encountered while fostering collaboration among youth of different faiths, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Thank you so much, Ashley. Okay, before I start, I would want to appreciate the Journalists and Writers Foundation for giving us this opportunity. So, to answer the question, Nigeria is quite a diverse country. We have over 250 ethnic groups and over 500 languages. So one of the major challenges we faced in promoting interfaith dialogue in our peace building effort is deep-rooted mistrust and stereotypes. There's this beliefs that have been passed on. People would usually see certain people from certain region as bad or give them some names, even though they've not really experienced such. So it has become an issue, mostly in the cultural part, because you will see, say for instance, someone from the northeast would be seeing someone from the southwest as there's this hostility that has been passed from generations that builds like a wall between people from certain regions. So even before you meet anyone, there's always this belief you have that, oh, this person is your enemy, this person is after you, this person is against you, which in most cases is not true. And another issue we've encountered is actually securing a long-term commitment for our initiatives. In most cases, the moment we start a program or initiative that brings people from certain regions, certain religious background together, they would usually be interested in the first few sessions, but then most of them, once that excitement goes down, getting them to continue practicing what we've been preaching, what we've been teaching, would usually become a very big deal. And in the religion aspect, we in the interfaith aspect, we have like majorly 3 religions in Nigeria. There are others, but very small percentage. So mostly the majority is Christianity and Islam, and then there are traditional religion people practicing it all around. So mostly in such cases too, there is this hostility that is not really very pronounced, but very active. That people would think people from such religion are wicked, people from such religion calling each other's name and all that. And what we do here, how we usually handle such situations is that, sorry, I think I should say a thing or two about the organization I work for. Yeah, I work for UFUK Dialogue, which is an NGO that deals in promoting interfaith and intercultural dialogue and peace building and youth empowerment. So we have this motto that we run with, which is reserve in your heart a seat for everyone. So this has actually been our anchor, what has been guiding everything we do. So we usually always reserve a space for others in our hearts. So it doesn't matter if you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, or you practice traditional religion. We first see people as human. Yeah, we are first human beings before we have religions. So what we do is we actually partner with institutions that are religious institutions now. Like we have a very good relationship with the Christian Association of Nigeria and the Islamic Supreme Council of Nigeria. So in all of our programs, the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, and then the Sultan, who is like the president of the Islamic Supreme Council, are usually in attendance. We usually bring them together. So we usually would bring initiatives that will focus on the similarities of these religions and see how we can work together. So instead of focusing on the differences that bring conflict, we would mostly focus on the similarities. And another thing I think that has been a major reason for conflict in this field is I don't know if I can use the word ignorance. A lot of people don't know much about the other religion or what it teaches. So what they would usually feed on these things they grew up listening to, that no, someone from this religion is a bad person. And even though they do not know what the religion teaches or what it says, they would just relate with those people with hostility and all that. So what we do is, whenever we bring especially youth together, we would actually try to explain to them the peace building perspective from both religions. So we would usually invite top religion clerics from both sides in our programs, and each would have like a session that they will teach about the similarities of this religion. And some of the initiatives we have that promote this include there's this periodic Abrahamic table we host around Christmas, Easter, and Ramadan, and during the Eid. We would usually invite groups of youth from usually in mixed interfaith groups, and we'll come together, have a discussion on what we can do to actually clear out that ignorance, how we can actually sensitize the people around us, because we believe in strength in number. So if you can get 1,000 youths, teach them about these things, each of them has a friend and a family member that they are most likely going to talk to about what they've learned. And before you know, if they share it with the people they know, and the people they know share it with other people they know, the impact would be massive. So yeah, what we the major thing we do to handle these challenges is actually to bring out initiatives that actually focus more on the similarities than the differences. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ayuba. And the motto that UFUK has, that reserve a seat for everyone in your heart, is one that should be in the heart of interfaith dialogue. And in terms of addressing the challenges of no motivation, challenges of focusing on the differences, bringing up initiatives like Abrahamic moments, Abrahamic gatherings is such a great way to be able to break down the walls that we usually have against different religions. And thank you so much for your inputs. We'll come back to you in a second, but now I'd like to shift to Spozhmey. And Spozhmey, as a student of biological science, what role do you think academic disciplines like science can play in focusing or fostering interfaith understanding? And also, how can youth from different faiths collaborate on community-based projects?
First of all, good morning, good afternoon, good everyone, to the panelists and attendees. I hope everyone is doing well. Back to your question, Ashley. As a biological science student, I believe science can help people from different religions understand each other better. Science is based on facts and curiosity, and it brings people together to solve real-world problems, no matter what faith someone follows. Science teaches us to think openly, ask questions, and respect different ideas. Young people from other religions can work together on community projects that help everyone. For example, they can team up to plant a tree, clean up neighborhood, or spread awareness about health issues all together. These projects bring people closer and show that despite different beliefs, we all care about making the world a better place. By using science as a common ground, we can build friendship, learn from each other, and work together to solve important problems in our communities, I believe.
Thank you, Spozhmey. Well put, very elaborate, and very great inputs in terms of well, changing the view that we have of scientists and that they may not be very approachable and that they are more curious. And this can also be a very great instrument when we talk about interdisciplinary approaches of incorporating science as we look at different aspects of sociology, biology, to foster understanding and collaboration of community-based projects. Thank you so much. And over to you, Bulafu. I want to find out about your work because you said that you mostly focus on fostering dialogue, on bringing diverse perspectives. And how do you see this interfaith dialogue contributing to the broader movement of social justice, particularly when it comes to the youth's role in shaping that narrative?
Thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Greetings from Uganda. And I would like to thank everyone who has come to attend this session. And we pray that this is a beginning of something great to see that the future of the world that we all share is in great hands, to see that people can come together, to see that they focus on their humanity before their religiosity. And as per the question of how interfaith dialogue contributes to the broader movement of social justice, I would say that interfaith dialogue helps us reaffirm the shared humanity that we have and that we identify as human beings before we identify ourselves as any religious or cultural group, because we are human beings before all of that comes into play. So what this dialogue helps us to do is it reminds us of this shared humanity, which is a basic and essential pillar in social justice. And when you talk about the youth engaging in this interfaith dialogue, the youth learn to see beyond the religious and cultural labels, and this understanding is very and really much critical when it comes to shaping the perspective of building solidarity across different communities of people. And also, interfaith dialogue teaches us something that is important, that tolerance is just, like I would say, tolerance is passive, but understanding is active. Just like Ayuba has told us before, and we have to understand one another. It is one thing for me to say, I tolerate you. It means that I don't want to know whatever happens in your life. We can live as I live together. We can live, each minding their own business. But what interfaith dialogue does is that it goes beyond just being tolerant, which is just being passive with someone of a different perspective, and you come to a point where you understand what they're really doing. So interfaith dialogue encourages the youth just to go beyond just being tolerant and accepting the existence of different ideologies and beliefs, and instead engage with them, see what happens there. It is just like my brother from Nigeria has said, someone grows up knowing that someone from this religion is supposed to be a wrong person. Come on, it doesn't work that way. It is something that interfaith dialogue teaches us, that we are supposed to understand the other community, the other ideology, and the other belief before each and everything. And also, in the different faiths we are all in, one thing that is common and paramount in all those religions is justice. And with this, I would say that our faith is not complete without justice. And if you're talking about social justice, it means that interfaith dialogue is playing a very crucial role, that it is helping us focus on something that unites all of us. So it means that interfaith dialogue can inspire the youth to see their religious or spiritual beliefs all calling towards social justice and all calling towards the action for justice. So as we collaborate across all the faiths that we are having, the young people can amplify their efforts and combat other issues that bring the different ideologies in faiths together, things like poverty, things like inequality, things like environmental degradation, because we are looking at faith not being complete if there is no justice. So when we come together on the basis of justice, we shall be able to combat even other things. When you look at the likes of Martin Luther King Jr., when you look at the likes of Abdul Sattar Edi from Pakistan, these are people who are doing great things, but not because they were looking at helping the people from their own religion. When they understood that we need to come together as a community on the basis of justice, they laid grounds for every other thing that will bring equality and curb all other things that would harm the society together. And interfaith dialogue also helps to empower the youth to become bridge builders and the voice for the voiceless. As youths are always the biggest population in any community, we see that when we engage them into interfaith dialogue, these youths are going to be the bridge builders. If they really understand the concept of interfaith dialogue, the youth are going to be at the forefront. They're going to be the voice for the voiceless. They're going to build bridges across different ideologies and beliefs to see that we can work together. And these youths have the type, have the time, the youths have the energy, and they have the efforts to see that such a movement can move on together and in firm strength. Also, lastly, I would say that the youths, after understanding the concept of interfaith dialogue, it would be that they will turn that faith into action, because everything that we talk about in interfaith dialogue is something that unites us as human beings, regardless of our faiths. So the youths, from the interfaith dialogue that they'll be having, it will be a ground and concrete foundation to see that they address the real world problems. They will turn the dialogue that they are having just as youth to go and serve. Because the dialogue is not just intended to end in sessions like this one. Dialogue is also intended to go and address the real world problems in the communities and societies we are coming from. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Yusuf, for bringing the diverse perspectives in promoting dialogue, particularly highlighting that there is a bigger responsibility for the interfaith community to engage in social justice, to be able to use that also to promote the different issues, to promote a better social good, common good in our societies through this dialogue, and that this interfaith engagements do not just end after the event, but rather it is an invitation for us to go back to our communities, for us to serve our communities, for us to take action whenever we see an injustice taking place, and that we are also our brother's keeper. And this is just not limited to the religions that we share, but rather just seeing the humanity in all of us. Thank you so much for those great inputs. And now I will turn over to our last speaker, and she will be closing this round of session, and then we shall dive into a more roundtable discussion. I invite Serra Kazan, who is a public health student, and you believe in the importance of learning from each other. How can interfaith dialogue play a role in public health initiatives, especially when addressing issues like equality and inequality, and also access to justice?
Hello, everyone. So firstly, I'd like to say thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Now to answer your question, as a student in the field of public health, I was able to recognize that addressing health disparities does not only require a scientific approach, like scientific knowledge, but also a strong community engagement. And interfaith dialogue helps build that relationship and trust within diverse communities, which is essential in public health initiatives. Things like inequality in healthcare access, cultural stigmas, and even availability of resources are all challenges that are deeply rooted in societal and religious beliefs. And that's why engaging in interfaith dialogue, we are able to bridge these gaps and make sure that our future public health programs are culturally sensitive, equitable, and more widely accepted to better promote justice in our community. And in a healthcare sense, patients are more likely to trust and follow medical advice when they feel respected and understood. So recognizing cultural and religious norms helps doctors connect with their patients on a deeper level, which creates that strong bond with each other. And religious inclusivity helps address systemic healthcare inequalities by ensuring that all patients receive equitable and personalized care, regardless of their background.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Indeed, we need to ensure that critical systems do not have any discrimination and that there is a promotion to equality. And thank you so much for the great inputs. And now we will move on to a panelist discussion where we will learn from our panelists' individual stories, their own journey and their own experience in their communities. And kicking off with Ayuba, you've been awfully quiet. We'd like to know, community-based projects are a powerful tool for local change. Can you share an example of a community-based project that you've been involved in that has made an impact in your community?
All right, thank you once again, Ashley. All right, like you mentioned, community-based initiatives actually play a very vital role in whatever you are doing, because the main aim of doing what we are doing is actually to do something that will make our society a better place. So there is no way we could do that without the members of the community. So what we do, actually, we do a lot of community-based programs, projects, and one of such is the dialogue peace iftar dinner we usually hold, where we would invite traditional rulers, people in government, religion clerics, youth leaders, and we usually host it during Ramadan. And it's just a period, it's just a program that we invite people. It usually holds like a conference. It usually starts in the evening, and it will run to the point where our participants that are fasting will break bread together with them. And actually, last year, the one we did last year was extra special because the seasons of Ramadan and Lent actually happened about the same time. So we hosted it in a period where our Muslim participants and our Catholic participants were all fasting, and we actually took advantage of that opportunity to bring everyone together, and everyone in attendance, both the Christians, Muslims, those that are fasting and those that are not, actually came together to celebrate each other. And we've gotten feedback from especially the traditional rulers about the impact of such programs. Prior to them attending our programs, it's something that they would naturally not believe would be possible, because from when they were coming, where they were coming rather, and how they see the interaction between these religions, faithfuls, excuse me, it's not something that easily happens. So it's always an exciting experience for them to actually come and see now the Khan president and the Sultan together, hugging each other, holding hands, eating together on the same table. You see, things like this, it may not look very much of a big deal, but the impact it has on people, there's a level of exposure we are a bit fortunate to have, that these things may not look so much to us, but then there's a lot of people out there that actually have no access to such things, that they've not seen anything like that happen. So when we invite some of them to come and attend our programs and they see these things, they would usually go back to their communities and then start implementing things like this. And we've, we've had Nigeria has actually been experiencing a lot of interreligious conflicts, clashes here and there. And one of the time we invited some of the traditional leaders from those regions that have actually been affected by such events. And when they came, we had one confess to us that before he came, he never knew that it was possible. He said, but after seeing what actually happened, he would actually go back to his community and try and see how he can actually implement that over there. So, and because of these things, there's this conference we usually hold annually, the Love and Tolerance Conference. Because of that experience last year, this year we decided to host it in 3 different cities, in 3 different regions. So doing it that way would actually give us the chance to actually get people from, say, the major parts of the country, excuse me, to have access to these things, to these informations. And we've brought people, our speakers, we've brought speakers from all around the world that have track records of promoting interfaith dialogue. So we believe that these initiatives would actually help us in our bid to sensitize the general public about the importance of interfaith dialogue and how it could actually help us in eliminating conflicts, especially interfaith conflicts. So these are some of the community-based programs we've been doing to see that we continue to promote our goal of establishing interfaith dialogue and, in the end, attaining sustainable peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And over to you, Spozhmey. Same question. And what has been the significance of engaging in a community-based project, and what impact did you achieve in the community?
I have done a lot of community-based projects. I love doing volunteering jobs and community based projects and works. I'm part of this organization which is called Hayward Promise Neighborhood, based in California, United States. What they do is they help the community. And I did, as I said, I have done a lot of community-based projects such as food distribution for low-income families, for homeless peoples. I also did tutoring and translation for high school and middle school students. However, one significant community-based project I have been involved with that made a real impact is the mentorship program, which I created and helped for high school students at Tennyson High School in Hayward, again based on California, United States. Many of these students arrive in the United States after fleeing conflicts, facing challenges such as language barrier, adjusting to a new education system, and feeling isolated in their new environment. For me, education is the first step for having a great future. And in United States, people really have lots of opportunities, and the only thing that I really focus is how to help high schoolers and middle schoolers to understand these opportunities and use it in the most beautiful way possible, and to gain benefit from it. So um, uh, that's why I created this program, and throughout this program, I worked with other college students to provide academic support, college guidance, and sense of community for high schoolers. I helped them with high school subjects, introduce them to college resources, and encourage them to pursue higher educations. Beyond academics, we also shared personal experience, cultural connection, and mentorship that made them feel heard and valued. The impact of this program has been significant. A student who once felt lost or unsure about their future now have the confidence to set academic and career goals. Some of them even have expressed interest in becoming mentor themselves, continuing the cycle and support. We also hold data from these students. I helped like 20 students. There was 20 students in this mentorship program, and 14 of them ended up going to colleges, and which they were not even sure if they want to go to colleges. And they ended up going to colleges after all the talk session we had, the workshops that we had, and most of the conflict that I saw was they didn't know the programs, they didn't know how the system in United States works, and after the sense of realization and after the sense of understanding. This is how the system works. They felt more comfortable applying for colleges and for universities and pursuing a higher education. And this experience showed me how education and mentorship can be powerful tool for change, bridging gaps in resources and creating a stronger, more connected community. I think so. And even and in United States, I can say one thing is that even you do a small thing, they recognize you for that. For this base project, my university recognized me, and they wrote an article about me, and they published it on the university website. And they really like there was lots of other organizations that was supporting me with the foods and for what everything's for the program. Yeah, so that's what I have done.
Thanks, Spozhmey. And immediately there are some similarities between your experience in the United States and also Ayuba's experience in Nigeria, where there are people suffering from different issues related to faith and faith conflict, but also there are creative ways to be able to address these challenges, and also there is support. Maybe this is the difference. The main difference is that there is support, perhaps, and encouragement in some regions, when in other regions it's still a new issue that needs more engagement, more expansion of the movement. And what about you, Yusuf? Please tell us your story.
Okay, thank you once again, Ms. Ashley. In my country, Uganda, especially for the Muslims, like Brother Ayuba said, in Nigeria, they hold community iftar programs where they have these iftar gatherings, and people from different faiths, the Muslims, Christians, come and share this meal together, and they share stories, and every once in a while, the lessons that are embedded in the significance of fasting are shared. Things to do with gratitude, things to do with compassion, empathy are all shared. And these are values that cut across in every religion. So it is something that helps to build bridges, and also it dispels stereotypes that do happen among people about other religions, and the shared values are also there. When you talk about other initiatives that have a deep root in the interfaith understanding, is something to do with the water well construction that we basically do here in our country, where we extend the water wells to areas where water is not accessed easily. And you would see that leaders from different faiths come together, bring together resources, and bring their assistance to see that water extends to their people. Because at the end of the day, this water is going to be of help to a Christian, a Muslim, a Hindu, a Jew out there. So it means that when these leaders come together, they put out the issue of collaborative action, regardless of what we believe in. We are coming together for this water well project. So as they do that, they show that there is unity beyond our religions. There is unity in humanity, and the locals also in their interfaiths, seeing their leaders engaged in such a project, they'll all come together, and such a moment is used to show them that actually we can come together to fight all other problems affecting us as a community without looking at our faiths and our backgrounds and all those things that are going to put us into segments. Also, the issue of education workshops to university students, to mentoring students in high school about the interfaith thing, such that you curb the stereotypes as they are growing, so that we create a better future and see that these are the people, they're the flag bearers of peace and social justice in a world where there might not be hope, and we have laid down the foundation by educating them about that. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yusuf. And over to you, Serra.
That is actually an amazing question, because this year I've had the wonderful opportunity to serve as the community service officer for my university's Muslim Student Association, also known as MSA. And with this role specifically, I was able to help organize many different community-based projects. One of our more popular ones was a service event where we worked together with our local food bank and helped distribute food in underserved areas. And I believe that this event was very impactful in our community, because we, first off, we helped distribute essential food items and even clothing to families in need. But it also served as an event that brought communities of different religions, races, and ages together, where we worked side by side to make a positive difference. And this type of community engagement helps identify and address real issues within our area. This is especially important because when people are involved, projects are more likely to have a long-term effect.
Thanks, Sarah, and also thanks, Yusuf, breaking down stereotypes in Uganda, but also working in communities, as Sarah has said, and using that platform of engagement as a way to identify and also address other issues in the communities. Thank you so much for all your inputs. And just one last question to all the panelists, as we now dive in and allow our audience to share their Q&A questions in the chat, is how can interfaith dialogue specifically contribute to achieving SDG 16, particularly when it comes to promoting justice, promoting peace, and promoting inclusive institutions? Ayuba, you're up. Please unmute.
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. Okay, thank you so much once again. Like we've been saying, interfaith dialogue is a very vital tool in promoting peace, and justice. So from my experience, I think there are three major ways that interfaith dialogue would actually we can be used as a tool to see the actualization of the 16th SDG. First, by preventing conflicts. We like what we've been doing, like I mentioned earlier, through what we've been doing, it has played quite a vital role in seeing the reduction of conflict, especially in rural areas here in Nigeria, and then also through empowering young leaders. We have a program that has been ongoing. The title is the Peace Ambassador Certificate Program. And here we actually empower youth with the right knowledge, right skills to advocate for peace and justice. So these initiatives actually also helps in seeing that we like empower the younger generation with the right tools they will need to empower and empower peace and justice. And finally, through our partnership with key institutions and government agencies, we've been indirectly influencing policies. For instance, last year, one of the members of the House of Representatives here in Nigeria, who was part of our partners, who has been an active participant in our initiatives, was able to bring to an end a conflict between two tribes, the two major tribes in his constituency. I think that conflict should be over 60, 70 years. The people from those tribes don't usually meet for anything, but through these programs and all these excuse me, activities we've been doing, he actually been part of most of our activities, implemented what we've been promoting. And for the first time in over 50 years, these two communities actually came together. I do not have the pictures here, but they actually played a friendly football match. It was just a beautiful celebration. So I think using these opportunities, these initiatives we've been pushing, interfaith dialogue would actually play a very vital role in actualizing the 16th SDG. Thank you.
Amazing, Ayuba. That is such an inspiring story. Over to you, Spozhmey.
I believe that interfaith dialogue help achieve SDG by bringing people of different religion together to promote peace, fairness, and inclusion. When people share their belief and listen to each other, they build understanding and reduce conflicts, and also they build trust. It helps break a stereotype, encourage respect, and create a stronger, more peaceful communities. Faith groups can also work together to support justice by standing up for human rights and helping those in need. By making schools, workplaces, and government more welcoming to all religion, interfaith efforts help build fair and inclusive institutions. And I believe that interfaith dialogue bring people closer, they promote harmony and help create a safer and more equitable world for everyone.
Thanks, Spozhmey. And indeed, institutions are very critical in achieving this SDG. Yusuf, what about you?
Yes, beginning with peace as the first in the 16th SDG, interfaith dialogue can actually help in achieving and promoting peace in different societies, as you'll be seeing that in a country like Uganda that has a lot of ethnic groups and tribes, you'd see that with the mindset and the ideology from interfaith dialogue, it can cross over to intercultural dialogue now, because we have the understanding of, before all these labels come, we are human beings before the cultural levels and before the religious levels. And so I think interfaith dialogue is important in promoting peace under the 16th SDG. Talking about justice, yes, like I've said previously, justice is a core pillar in any religion, any major religion. You'd be seeing that if there is peace, justice is easy to implement. And under the 16th SDG, it has justice, and so interfaith dialogue can be important, can be very necessary in seeing that justice is prevailing, because in the face of injustice, we are going to curb it irrespective of what we believe in. It means that when we see a victim of injustice, we are supposed to go there and fight the cause of injustice and make sure we also take care of the victim of injustice. And maybe in building strong institutions, still under the 16th SDG, interfaith dialogue can assist to fight things like corruption in any institution. Especially in Africa, corruption is a very big problem. But through the lens of interfaith dialogue, we can see leaders from different faiths coming together to see that corruption in our institutions is reduced. And by using interfaith dialogue, we can see that interfaith dialogue is crucial in promoting peace, in promoting justice, and also ensuring that we build strong institutions in whichever community we're in. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yusuf, addressing the core pains in our regions can also be addressed through addressing the SDG. Over to you, Serra.
Yeah, so the previous panelists hit all the key points, but I wanted to add that interfaith dialogue plays an important role in advancing our 16th SDG by fostering mutual understanding that also in return helps reduce tensions. And this is mainly because we want to create spaces for respectful conversations that allows us to learn from each other and build that trust, as I previously mentioned before. And these events also lead to collaboration on social issues, making different institutions more inclusive and fair. So just overall, when we come together and find a common ground through interfaith initiatives, we actually help, excuse me, create a more peaceful and just society, which in return helps achieve the SDG 16.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Indeed, you've mentioned mutual understanding, respect, trust, fairness, finding common ground, all these essential elements. And I thank our panelists so far for their great contributions to this conversation, and also to the attendees, to the audience who have been very engaged, specifically Jamal, who has shared that harmful ideologies that foster extremism and hatred can be diminished through intra and interfaith dialogue. Thank you so much, Jamal, for the inputs. And also Turkmen, who shared that he has spent 4 years working in India among Hindus, years in Sri Lanka, years in South Africa, and he has understood that goodness and wrongdoing are not confined to any faith or belief system, and that human dignity lies in recognizing the inherent worth of each individual, regardless of their religious or cultural background. Interfaith engagement allows us to see beyond labels and discover the core values that define a person. Thank you so much, Turkmen, for the great inputs. I also appreciate the inputs from Nawaz and Jamal, and we'll come back to that in a second. I'd now like to introduce and invite Dr. Ibrahim Yunus Rashid from Tanzania. Dr. Ibrahim is a distinguished individual passionate about education, charitable work, and Ubuntu philosophy advocate. He is currently a board member of the Kilimanjaro Dialogue Institute in Tanzania that advocates for global peace. Dr. Rashid is also the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network's Global Schools Program Ambassador and a Mandela Washington Fellow Alumni in Civic Leadership Track and a mentor to many members of the JWF cohorts. Welcome, Dr. Ibrahim, to give your reactions as we dive into the dissecting what our great panelists have been sharing so far. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. So I'm Dr. Ibrahim Yunus Rashid. I'm from Tanzania. Currently, I serve as the board member of the local Kilimanjaro Dialogue Institute that advocates for peace and reconciliation. But I'm also an advocate for Ubuntu philosophy. And as you all know, Ubuntu is based on the African understanding of interconnectedness, whereby we are all connected as humans to the societies, to our surroundings. And that's why with the Ubuntu understanding, we say, I am because you are, or I am because we are. And I see this as a core to how we can foster peace and also solidarity. But I'm also very happy to see that the youth is taking the lead in shaping our future. And I commend all of you, the panelists, all the participants. What you're doing is an act of leadership. In Ubuntu way, we say servant leadership, whereby a leader is someone who puts the needs of others above their own. With this Ubuntu way, I'm sure that we can always foster peace. And I commend you for that. And I thank everyone for their participation and their input. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ibrahim. We're very humbled to have you with us today. We will now dive into the questions given by our panelists, starting with a question by Paridi from India. And she wanted to ask that women rights exploitation in the name of religion and faith has been common, not only mentally, but biologically. It has affected through issues like infanticide, female genital mutilation, and child sexual abuse. And she would like to know how we can collectively work together to bring these traditions to an end completely. I will just shoot this question over to Spozhmey, and also Serra can add some inputs afterwards. Thank you.
Really good question. Thank you for asking. And I can say that education awareness in these topics is really, really important. People in such those communities should engage in communities and conduct workshops and discussions, especially in affected areas, to challenge harmful beliefs or to change the perspective of people and make them understand that what they're thinking or what they're doing is not right. And also comprehensive gender education, teach young girls and also boys about bodily autonomy, consent and their rights. And in those affected areas, people should empower women and provide education and vocational training to help women become independent and decision makers. I believe that in those affected areas, if people hold workshops and educate other people, that would be really, really helpful. And back to Serra. That's all I wanted to add. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think education is also very important, especially in this topic. This issue also includes stronger legal protections, I believe, and also community engagement. We need to empower women through education, as you said, and also awareness, ensuring that they know their rights and their access to support systems in their communities. We can also come together and advocate to policymakers, maybe community leaders, so that we can work together to challenge and stop these harmful practices while respecting everyone's cultural and religious identities.
Thanks, Sarah and Spozhmey. And Parity's question had a second attachment to it, which is how can we work to make digital technology training such as AI, ML, coding, etc., healthcare diagnosis accessible to young girls and boys who hold potential and also have an equal age as others in this world? Now, we are still reflecting on this question. I think it's an invitation also to have a session on SDG 4 and entrenching healthcare and education, pillar of the SDGs. But we thank you, Parity, for asking these questions. And also, we will be asking our dear panelists, Ayuba and Yusuf, a question from Yasid, who asks, how effective have interfaith peace conferences and community iftars been in promoting real change beyond symbolic gestures? Over to you, Ayuba.
Okay. Well, the last time I spoke, I made mention of how a member of the House of Representatives was able to, who has been part of this conferences, was able to bring an end to a conflict that has been there for over half a century. So beyond, yeah, we're starting from where we are. I believe that no matter how big whatever you're doing is, you must start somewhere. And from where we are, we have actually been seeing the real impact of these conferences and iftar dinners, because even though we've not yet seen the full impact we dream of, but we've seen results that keep encouraging us to do more, because like I've mentioned, in our programs we would usually invite top government officials, top religious clerics, and all that. And beyond just the formalities and all that, we've actually seen how it has actually improved the relationship between these organizations. For instance, when the youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria were hosting a program last year, they actually invited members of the Muslim Students Society of Nigeria to actually help them in executing the program. These are things that would not have happened if we did not bring them together. So even though, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we are still growing, we've actually seen signs that we are actually on the right path, and all we need to do is just to keep digging, and eventually the result would be beyond obvious and evident for everyone to see. Thank you.
Thank you. And Yusuf.
On that note, I would say that the conferences that I think Mr. Yassin has asked about and the community iftar, they are basically seen as positive initiatives for creating this and fostering dialogue and understanding. And their effectiveness really depends on different and several factors, and because they symbolize unity and goodwill in and of themselves, the ability to create long-term impact, depends on, I would say, one, the structure of how the conference has been organized, how the iftars have been organized, the structure themselves, but also the follow-up efforts after the iftar, after the conference, following up on the members and seeing how they progress as the aftermath. But also, importantly, you'd look at the intent behind the organizing of such an event, a conference, because still as people of faith, we would know that the intention is more meaningful than the action itself. And I would say if the structure is right, the follow-up efforts are good, and the intent was right from the beginning as you're organizing these conferences and iftars, it is something that can really help this line, because we've seen stereotypes and misconceptions broken down in such conferences, because people from different faiths come together to reduce the prejudice and correct the misunderstandings that might be prevailing here and there. Bridges have been built through these community conferences and iftars. Relationships have been mended. They are good public relations, and they do encourage cooperation on social issues, because when they come together in a conference, when they come together on an iftar dinner and a community iftar, if this is done right, then it means that they have opened doors to other initiatives and collaborative projects when you talk of the charity initiatives and joint community service efforts. And that is ground for it. And that's what I would say about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ayuba. Thank you so much, Yusuf, for the great inputs, and also for our attendees in the chat. Nawaz, who adds that he participated in the Hunger Project, which is an interfaith effort to raise awareness on food scarcity. And he was a student, and it gave him a lifelong commitment to social justice, which influenced his work and life for the following decades. So even the academic contacts, activists, and students can have enormous benefit while they're engaging in this interfaith dinners and interfaith iftars. And many colleagues from the project went on to take roles in commercial and government departments with enormous influence on public good. Jamal also adds that he agrees that interfaith peace conferences lack impact because they focus on scholars and activists, but not common people. But he also suggests that to create meaningful change, we must shift our strategies by prioritizing engaging grassroots communities, addressing local needs and contexts, involving local leaders, and also committing to long-term measurable actions. And this is one of the ways to continue ensuring that our events are also not just one-time events, but they are impactful. Lastly, Serra adds that the iftar programs, I believe, also include the local community who get to be exposed to the sight of the attendees and the Muslim, the Christian, the Jews, the religious leaders, so that they may see that if the elders can meet and eat, why not us? Indeed, sharing meals, coming together has been one of the traditional ways and maybe innate human nature way of peace building, of initiating dialogue. And there are so many examples all over the world where this is working. For example, in India, where there's a temple that feeds up sometimes 100,000 people a day. And these are people of all religions. And we have learned so much from this golden temple in Langar. Now, I will ask Yusuf one question from David, who asks, are any of your groups also promoting the teaching of critical thinking in order to counter the increasing volume of misrepresentation and propaganda in the media and social networks? And in particular, in this era of AI?
Thank you, Miss Ashley. About that, I would say that my group, yes, looks to critical thinking, improving the critical thinking of its members, to see that, as I told you previously, engaging in mentorship, mentoring the youth, to see that they do not just look at things as they are told, that they critically think about them, and not just to base their interest and their attention to what they generate from AI, what the media spreads out as propaganda, and what their social medias or network algorithms give them. What we do here is that we really make sure that these people are looking beyond what the media propaganda does to them, that they really need. That's why I said that tolerance is just something that is passive, but understanding is active. I'm not just tolerating you, because when I read, actually, in and of itself, the word tolerance means there is something wrong in what you're doing. I'm just tolerating you. But through critical thinking, it puts you to a point that you're not just tolerating them, but you're working hard to understand their point of view, to the point that I'm not going to become what you are, but I really understand where you're coming from. That you don't just look at things as they're told to you, but you really understand where this person is coming from, that now you shift your attention to something even greater that binds you together, more than just things that are there to see that they keep you on differing sides. Thank you.
Well put, Yusuf. Thank you so much. And there is a follow-up question to you about how can interfaith dialogue bring solutions to the long-lasting corrupt practices within the African context? How can interfaith, yes, how can interfaith dialogue bring solution to the long-lasting corrupt practices within the African context?
Yeah, I can't assure you that interfaith dialogue is the only solution, but I can say that interfaith dialogue is part of the solution. That when we try to look at corruption as something that is not wanted in any of the faiths, because it is something that not only it does not just corrupt the institutions, it corrupts the personality of someone. And I would say through interfaith dialogue, learning how corruption is talked about through different faiths, it really cements it in myself to really appreciate that if it is something talked about as a bad thing in my faith, as a bad thing in someone else's faith, as a bad thing in the other person's faith, then it means that it is really a universally not appreciated and welcomed something. And when people from different faiths come together to talk about corruption in their institutions, in their places of worship, we shall see corruption reducing. As I say, it's not the only solution, but it's surely part of the solution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yusuf. And indeed, this is an experience also in my home country, Kenya, where we've had faith leaders who have refused donations from politicians who are associated with corruption. And we are seeing that that is promoting the ethical thoughts of where donations come from, and also receiving handouts from politicians. And so, yes, while there is no one exact solution to corruption, interfaith dialogue is definitely one of the approaches to ensuring that we can be able to tackle this plague of corruption within our continent. And that brings us to the end of the Q&A session. We're also very grateful to Julian, who has shared her maxim, and that is, people don't care how much you know until they know and see how much you care. That is very thoughtful, and thank you so much for sharing your inputs. And she says also, kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. This is a quote from Mark Twain, and just reminding us to keep on doing the work, and that we are appealing not just to people, we are appealing to hearts. And Serra also says she encourages peace relations in her work, and when it comes especially to the set of students who are of different races and religions, and this embodies values of critical thinking, peaceful conflict resolution, which if they also take these values back home and as well as the community. Thank you very much. We are just getting to the next part of the closing remarks from our team. But also, I just wanted to summarize the great inputs, which they are so many nuggets from the different speakers that we have had today, and that we need to keep on ensuring that there is a reserved seat in our hearts for everyone. We also have to remember that interfaith dialogue is a matter of shared humanity, and tolerance is passive, but understanding is active. And so we should be more open and strive towards understanding as we engage in interfaith dialogue. And also that it is important to also look at mutual understanding, ensuring that we partner outside of our existing structures to look at different partnerships, because they can be able to find the missing gap, the missing link to the questions that we might be having in our society, breaking down stereotypes actively, and ensuring that also we focus on our similarities, ensuring that we ensure that we keep on building this movement to keep sustained engagement, and that it doesn't only be limited in our institutions, but rather we go back to the communities and make it as open and as accessible to as many people as possible. Looking also at addressing emerging issues, looking at AI and looking at technology and how this impacts interfaith dialogue and generally peace-building relationships. These are just some of the nuggets that are from me. I am happy also to open this up to the chat and anyone in the team in the call to be able to also give the inputs, the one takeaway that you have from this call. And now I'd like to invite our panelists for just one quick round, a sentence, to share one actionable step that the youth in the audience can take to contribute to peace, justice, and interfaith collaboration in their local communities. So just 2 minutes, starting with Ayuba.
All right. Thank you once again. Yeah. So from me, I think I will just repeat our motto: reserve in your heart a seat for everyone. You know, from the part of the world we am from, some of our participants mentioned, we suffer a lot from corruption and all that. So you see, bad governance does not only affect Christians or Muslims or traditional worshippers. We are in this all together. So we will have to put aside these differences and come together to fight it together. So I think we start by reserving a seat in our heart for everyone. And when we come together, once we're united, there's no limit to what we can achieve. So that's all I can say.
Spozhmey.
One takeaway that I can say is education. Again, I really believe that education is the main and priority thing for not for just young adults, but for everybody, and keep pushing and keep educating yourself. We have a really famous quote that says, from the time that you're born until the time that you die, learn, and you will never be regretting.
Amazing. Thank you, Spozhmey. And Yusuf.
Yeah, what I would say in this regard is that if we really want to build a peaceful world, we must do more than we talk. We are supposed to be acting. The world does not need more religious labels. We do not need more moral courage. Let us be known for our character rather than before our creed. Let us be respected for our service before our sermons, and let us be loved for our humanity before our theology. And you would see that we are in our respective faiths, we are not just representatives of those faiths, but we are custodians of justice. And I would say as youth, we must lead this movement, not as representatives of different religions, but as representatives of a better world. And if we can embrace our shared humanity, and then our faith will not divide us, because that will only make our faiths and our shared humanity elevate us in that regard. With all that being said, may we become builders of bridges, may we become healers of wounds and defenders of justice, and may we be human again. Thank you.
Thank you, Yusuf. And Serra.
My key takeaway would be more active in your community. Look for groups that share similar interests, whether it's a school organization or just a small group of friends that want to make a difference. And I would encourage the youth to participate in service projects, relief efforts, and interfaith events to learn from each other and foster peace and justice in their community.
Thank you. Heartful thanks to Ayuba, to Yusuf, Serra, Spozhmey for their wisdom and dedication, and to our audience for the active participation. Your engagement is what makes dialogues like this meaningful and impactful. I now invite Mr. Mehmet for the closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Ashley. This has been an amazing, wonderful session. We are so hopeful that young leaders, youth leaders, are taking taking action in building peaceful and just and societies in our local communities, but globally as well. We learned great initiatives from our young leaders that they are involved and they are taking leadership in building peaceful and cohesive societies. Now, I would like to give our floor to my colleague Priyanka Chahal. She is our program associate and also JWF representative to the UN Department of Global Communications for her reflections and some reminders.
Thank you very much, Mehmet, for the introduction, and kudos to you all up here that it was a really great interactive session and also great participation from our audience. Thank you, Ashley, for moderating it. I just want to, appreciate this group of young people because they are our alumni from the Global Youth Leadership Program 2024 that has been organized by Journalists and Writers Foundation. It was a year-long certificate program. So thank you for engaging this. And with this, moving forward, I would like to invite all of the young people to, join us with our offers that we really have a great youth space at Journalists and Writers Foundation. Even this year, we are having our second forward of Global Youth Leadership Program. We have so many opportunities for you all. There are like a lot of things on the plate that I would like to encourage all of the young people to participate with us, to engage, to speak, to stand, to advocate on different issues, including the interfaith. And I will ask Mehmet to show me some slides. So I would like to show some exciting opportunities because in March, we are also going to have side events and the Commission on the Status of Women. We will be having in-person event and also a virtual event. So this here you can see on the screen, it will be in-person event on 10th March on Monday. You can scan this QR code or you can simply take the screenshot of the screen, or if not, then you can just simply follow us on our social media handles, Journalists and Writers Foundation. The seats are limited, so I encourage you to register as soon as possible. It will be a great in-person event at the Church Center at United Nations Plaza in New York. And then we'll be having our virtual event. I'll be moderating the session. This session is also very important. It will be virtual pathways to ensure women's equal access to global health. I'll be moderating with my other colleagues and mentors from Harvard as well, from different countries who have really provided their health services in the remote regions with the grassroots experience. So we will be hearing from all of the panelists, and registrations are open for this as well. You can simply go to our website to learn more, or you can just follow us on our social media handles. You can see the icons here, just search on Google, and we would love to have your participation. We really encourage the participation from young people. So yeah, we invite you all, and Mehmet is also having a great opportunity to share with you all. So I pass the floor to Mehmet to share about a very interesting opportunity for young people. Over to you, Mehmet.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. I really, thank you so much for your leadership. You are leading us with your leadership skills, and also you are a great role model for many young people. So I highly recommend you to follow Priyanka Chahal on LinkedIn. She is on Instagram. She has amazing opportunities sharing through her social media. I would like to just, just briefly, thank, the World Interfaith Harmony Week, and which is, organized by, His Excellency, King Abdullah II of Jordan. This, is an amazing international platform for organizations, individuals, and also as young people to really, give hope to the people. And we had so many events this year, and last year our events were selected and awarded as, the bronze medal winner with the third place among more than 1,000 organizations. And this year we talked about being human again, hope for reconciliation. As we all know and witness that there have been so many wars and conflicts and disputes all around the world. Sometimes these are at the local level, sometimes at the national level. And are we hopeful for reconciliation? And how can religious teachings guide reconciliation in divided societies? And what are some of the practical steps that we can take to address, injustices in society and foster unity? So we had, amazing panel of speakers from Italy, Argentina, South Africa, United States, and India. They have provided wonderful examples of initiatives organized by civil society organizations, by higher education institutions, and that was an amazing program. And you can, watch this, event on our YouTube account. And today, we are so happy, so honored, and so proud of all our speakers for their insights, for sharing their, experiences or interfaith, voices, experiences for peace and justice. Thank you so much. So that was our second event. And we also have an opportunity that I would like to share with you. We really would like to give a voice to young people. We really would like to learn from you, and we would like to, look at it, from different angles with more innovative, ways to build peace. And we would like to hear from your from your interfaith, stories and experiences. So this is an opportunity which we invite young people ages 14 to 32 to submit their peace messages or poems on interfaith dialogue and mutual understanding. And the deadline is February 21. So we still have like at least 1 week that you can submit just a 2 and 3 minute videos. And these videos will be collected and then disseminated through our social media platforms, not only us, but Religions for Peace Europe as well. So we are partnering with Religions for Peace Europe with their European Interfaith Youth Network. So they have been our amazing partner in, giving a voice to the young people. So please take action. You can go to our website, or you can just, scan this QR code and just create, 2 or 3 minutes of a message on how to build peace and harmony through interfaith dialogue. So this is an amazing opportunity. So the deadline, as I said, is the 21st. And a week after, on February 26th, we will have a webinar And we will bring all these youth voices through a screening program. We will invite again young people to share their experiences and show their videos. So this is an amazing opportunity for you to share your experiences with the global world and be recognized, and also share your messages with the rest of the world. Please take action on this. So I highly invite you. And there is another event that we will be launching. We have already launched, and this is called Virtual Tour of Faith. So this is a program that celebrates the rich tapestry of religious diversity and fostering mutual understanding among communities. So basically for this one, we again invite individuals or organizations to create a 15-minute video and inviting people to their places of worship. And you can organize this in partnership with the religious organizations or temples or mosques, synagogues or churches or any other places. So we would like to you to welcome the rest of the world to your place of worship through this virtual tour of faith. And more information is on our website. So I would like to welcome you to that. And lastly, I would like to show just one more thing. So I would like you to welcome you to our YouTube account. So when you go to YouTube account, you will see our past events and current. This event will be posted on the World Interfaith Harmony Week. So you can rewatch it, or you can share it with the rest of the person. So as you can see, like our first event was viewed by more than 11,000 people, and you can watch other videos over here. And also, just for the this interfaith storytelling campaign, we have some videos from last year. You can take a look at it. Some people, they just shared some messages, and some others, they wanted to be more creative and to come up with role modeling and like playing an event of understanding of interfaith dialogue. So with that, I would like to thank our moderators and speakers for your wonderful contributions. And also I would like to thank our participants for an engaging and interactive session. And we look forward to seeing you in our next program on February 26th. So until then, stay tuned and have a wonderful day.